besties, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, my name is Meli. Today we're recapping what I read in the month of January. I have so many mixed feelings about this month because on one hand it was fucking amazing and on the other hand I literally crashed and burned. So I don't want to waste any of your time, let's jump into it. Okay, I'm a fucking savage, okay? Don't tell my dentist. Sometimes the nails just don't get it, you know? I can hear that Evanescence song. Bring me to life. I'm not a singer, okay, so don't hold that against me. The first book that I read this year, January 2025, and the reason why I want to start with that is because literally it was almost the only book that I read the entire month. It put me in such a massive book slump that I literally could not recover until the second book that I read this month released and came out. Thank God it did, because I would probably still be wallowing in self-pity after finishing this book. If you're new around here, I have a TBR jar that is trying to help me get down my physical TBR of the books that I have not actually read. That's where this all started. I pulled out 3 books for January because I wanted to have some wiggle room, because your girl's a big fucking mood reader, and so I needed to have room to read whatever I wanted. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And that book was The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. And I will tell you, every single person on TikTok agrees with me. This book is a 5 out of 5 masterpiece in the way that it's written, okay? But it is like a negative 1000 in the way that it leaves you and in the way that it makes you feel at the end. Both of the books that I'm going to be talking about in today's video will have spoilers. So if you have not read these, I will name the book before I dive into the spoilers. But just so you know, we're getting into spoiler territory. This book follows Ella and Beckett. And Ella, the poor woman, has been through nothing but tragedies in her life. She lost her father to war. She ends up losing her brother to war. Her daughter ends up getting diagnosed with cancer. She runs a ski resort in Colorado and it's like going under, and she's dealing with all the stress of all of that. Her daughter going through chemo treatments. She finds out that her brother was killed in combat. The reason why it's called Last Letter is because her brother was special operations. They have this thing called the last letter, so if somebody passes away, that letter is given to a next of kin or someone in particular. Well, her brother's last letter went to his best friend, who was Beckett. Beckett was also in special forces with Ryan, who is the main female character, Ella's brother. Okay, are you following me? Before Ryan died, he talks his sister and Beckett into becoming pen pals. So they meet officially through letter, and they are writing through letters. She only knows him by his code name because due to the line of work that they're in, it has to be secretive. She can't know who his real identity and who he is. So they talk back and forth through like 30 letters, getting to know each other, being honest and raw and human. Ryan leaves his last letter to Beckett asking him, please don't make my sister go through this alone. I need you to go help her. I need you to go be there for her, right? Ryan having no idea about what they're talking about in these letters and how they're connecting in these letters. Beckett leaves the military to come and be with Ella. He shows up, and Ella only knows this other guy that she's been writing by a code name. He shows up as Beckett. He does not show up as his code name, which is Chaos. Okay, so she thinks that Beckett is a different man that worked with her brother. She thinks that Chaos died in the same incident that her brother died in, because they will not release any information to her. They will not even let her see her brother's dead body before they bury it, because of how brutal his death was, because he was captured and tortured, and it's all in this book. Beckett fell in love with her, but he is afraid to tell her that he is Chaos because of everything that she's been through, and the fact that after her brother died, he stopped writing her for about 4 months because he felt so incredibly guilty that he wasn't there to save her brother. She's like, I'm an independent woman, don't need no man. He's like, I don't care, I'm here to help anyways, and I'm going to. He embeds himself in their life, okay? He also has his canine with him that was active duty, but she would only listen to him, so he got to take her home. His canine ends up falling in love with Ella's son, okay, because they're twins. The daughter got diagnosed with cancer, and then she also has a little son. She got diagnosed, I believe they were like 4 years old or 5 years old in the book, very young. And she goes through the ringer in this book with cancer. She gets infections, she gets very sick and frail. She almost dies multiple times. Surgeries, the gamut, okay? It's brutal. Here's the biggest spoiler of them all, okay? As you go through the entire book, it's tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. The final tragedy that happens is when everything is finally right. Her daughter gets cleared from cancer. She finally beat it. Beckett asked Ella to marry him, or she knows that he is Chaos. Like, everything is perfect and right in the world. And the son and Beckett are extremely fucking close. Like, all he's ever wanted was a dad, because his dad was never in the picture, and Beckett was that for him. Ooh, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. Hold on. This is as far as I've gotten talking about this book, because every time I do, it just fucking wrecks me. Let me get it together. The very end of the book is the little boy going on a field trip in the mountains, and there is a landslide, and the boy dies, okay? But he dies on page. He dies with Beckett finding him with a tree that has like severed his leg, all right? He's bleeding out. I read this a month ago. Fuck, hold on. And so he ends up dying with Beckett while Beckett holds him in his arms and is talking to him and talking about, like, the little boy finally says, "I love you, Dad," and calls him Dad as he's dying. And he says, "I love you, Colt." And we're talking about a little 7-year-old boy at this point. While the character development was phenomenal, the storyline phenomenal, it was absolutely gut-wrenching and devastating on a level that was unnecessary in order for it to be a 5-star read. This book has me conflicted in a way I've never been before about a book, about rating a book or telling you to read a book. But one thing I am for damn certain on, I will never recommend this to anybody that I care about. And it was so unnecessarily brutal that I don't think I'll be able to get past it. It's a 5-star read, but a negative 1,000 in the way that it leaves you, makes you feeling. And if you're smart, you wouldn't read it. Okay? That's why I got in such a terrible book slump. I did not want to pick up another book. I was absolutely devastated. I was devastated until we got to the second book that I read this month, which happened to be Onyx Storm. This is like fucking whiplash, okay? Because I fucking devoured this book in the best way. Easy 5-star read for me. I know people said that they were confused in the beginning. Couldn't be me. I was here for the vibes. I was along for the journey. I enjoyed every fucking second of it. I did, in fact, brave 3-degree weather in snow in order to get the Target edition. I'm so happy to have it. It looks so beautiful. I love it on my shelf next to my other copies. This is actually going to be my book club pick for February, so I cannot wait to have our book club and talk about this book. Oh my god, so many things happened in this book. We went to so many different aisles, so many different things happened, so many different characters. I do actually like that the deaths that happened in this book were quick. Some of them I was like, god damn, that came out of nowhere. But I'm glad they were quick because Rebecca Yarros knows how to make a death last and make it be fucking brutal, and I'm just glad she didn't do it in this one. Okay, I am not a reader that dissects every single book and looks for plot holes or mistakes or grammar or anything. I am a reader that's here for the vibes. I'm here for the books that make me feel good, that give me that reader high, that gives me like the excitement of getting lost in a story, the disassociation, the characters that fall in love, the delicious smut, the storyline. Like, that is what I'm here for. But I do have so many questions for the fact that why the fuck are the Irids little punk bitches? First of all, because Andarna, so excited the entire time, then they meet on this fucking island out of nowhere. Surprise, they can like camouflage themselves invisible and they're stuck up and they don't think about war, and I get, oh, they're peacekeepers, all these things, whatever. They did my girl Andarna dirty, and that pissed me off because I love her. I know she's a baby. She's just a baby. But at the same time, she's snarky as fuck, and I'm here for it. I love her comebacks. I love her one-liners. I love her attitude in this. Oh, and also, as I'm saying the names in this book, let me just preface this, okay? I'll probably say I'm wrong. I'll probably say I'm all wrong. This is how I say it. This is how I'm reading it. So if I don't say it the way that you feel like I should say it, then you just say it the way you feel like you should say it, and we're good. I say Andarna. I say Taryn. I say Riddick. I say, I don't know. I'm bound to say some shit that's fucked up, but let's move on. And I'm gonna bounce all over the place, okay? Just prepare yourselves for an onslaught of just random thoughts. Violet's dad dedicated her to Dune, but then like fully didn't dedicate her. What the fuck happened there? And then the fact that we got robbed of them getting married.
There better be a scene where we see them get married.
That's all I gotta say. We got so attached to these characters and I don't even get to see them get married. I am sure you've seen the theories all over the internet. Let me tell you what I think. Here's what's throwing me off, because I've been watching interviews with Rebecca Yarros, right? She got asked by the Fantasy Girls podcast at her book event. She got asked, how would we know, or where would we find, if we needed to find somebody who was a brother that would probably turn, that Xaden would consider to be a brother, right? All the way up until I saw her response to that, all day long I thought it was Brennan. Okay, all day long. I get the whole like Bodhi was retching or whatever, like he could have been pulling power, he could have been doing whatever. I get that. I thought it was Brennan because I think Brennan is already Venin. He's either Venin or he's just sketchy as fuck. He knows shit. I think that Naolan is involved in this, and I think that the fact that he has that scar in his hand is because of something that happened with Naolan. I need to know that story. I also need to know, see, here's my ADHD kicking in. I started going off on another tangent. So the next thing that I realized was that Rebecca Yarros said that it would have to be somebody that had watched him struggle and feel like they couldn't do enough. Who in the book says, if I tried to walk right now, I would burn out, but I have to figure out how to fucking do something? That was Garrick. So then I was like, God damn, is it Garrick? I hope it's not Garrick. Oh man. But one thing I am here for, these insinuated little love situations we have going on, I would fucking love to see a Garrick and Imogen situation. I would fucking love to see a Sloane and Dane situation. Dane had his arc this book. Okay, like I know some people said they felt like he had his arc last book because of what happened. Fuck no, he didn't. But he had his motherfucking arc this book, okay? I'm starting to like him more and more. He's like wing leader Dane, I'm here for. Bitch boy Dane from book 1 And even book 2, I don't trust you. I don't want nothing to do with you. But you know who carried this book on their fucking shoulders? Was Riddick. Riddick, oh my fucking god, he was so fucking funny throughout this book. I literally was kicking my feet and giggling the entire time. I fucking loved Riddick in this book, and I'm terrified because Rebecca Yarros said that a character that we love will not make it out of the next book. Who's that gonna be? Because she's literally made us fall in love with quite a few of them. I did cry when Quinn died, even though we didn't even really know Quinn. It was just really fucking sad because Imogen is so shut off to the entire world. She finally decides to open the door to somebody. Same thing with Kat. That was like with both of them. That was the situation because it was the only person Imogen had really loved like a sister. And then we have the situation with Kat where that guy died on that island with the fucking arrow. She was finally getting her ass over Xaden, which she fucking needed to. And then that happens. And I'm like, damn, this book got me feeling bad for Kat, and I hated that bitch. I love this book. I love the way that it turned out. I loved how we got to see all these different isles. And Iron Flame pissed me off. Like, I was obsessed with Fourth Wing. Iron Flame pissed me off because it left me with like so many questions. This book answered a lot of those questions, but then opened up a whole fucking can of other questions that I have no idea. But I don't know. I feel better about the questions that I'm left with in this book because I don't feel as left hanging as I did in Iron Flame. And this was phenomenal for me. 5-star read. I had the best fucking time reading it. I read it in like 2 days, and that is how I ended my entire month. It was a Rebecca Yarros January, and she both shattered me in one book and then put me together and had me kicking my feet like a little schoolgirl in the next one. So Xaden in Onyx Storm, excuse me sir, lover boy Xaden, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. I fucking love it. Who do you owe your loyalty to? Violet, above all else. Oh, good thing I fuck like a third. I mean, the one-liners in this book, top tier. Dane, eyes here, Atos, okay? The one-liners carried this book. I loved it. I had so much fun reading it. That's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe for the next one because I'll be doing my TBR for the month of February. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.